Alright boys, good to see y'all again. Today I got a tech video, that's what you want to call it, for mostly heavy users, bro, but you can do this with pretty much any weapon, right? So for this video, I'm gonna be talking about three main things, right? We got double uppercut, uppercut behind block, and M1 behind block. I do remember Nogo made a video on mantra behind block. This has like some very similar properties to it, but you can do this with obviously any weapon. I mean, with mantra behind block, you can only do that with like ice lance, exhausted strike, master's flourish, I believe he used as well. I'll put a clip on the screen right now to show y'all like how it kind of works. Shout out to Nogo for that, by the way. He gave me permission and everything, so great guy. But basically you just use a mantra, and like on your screen you're behind them, but on their screen you're still in front of them, and it's just kind of like a lag difference. It's really just like a Roblox / game thing. Not really something that you can like fix too easily for the dev side and stuff. But with that, let's just get straight into the first tech, right? This is uppercut, or well, double uppercut in a single combo. So let's watch this first clip here. Alright, so you parry, reset, and then another uppercut, right? So how this works, right? If we go back a little bit, you get the first uppercut, right? At this point, I do a roll cancel. You can see, I think he rolled right here. He's still in hit stun though. And then I do a feint, actually. So the reason why you do a feint is you're trying to bait out some sort of parry, move, mantra, anything, right? Because you can do like a raw double uppercut in a combo, right? It still works, but it's so much harder to land because you're not baiting anything out. You're just doing a raw double uppercut, and it's just never gonna hit. But with this way, it hits more times, right? Obviously, this isn't like a guaranteed thing. This is just a really cool mix-up to do that can get you some good free damage, especially if nothing else is kind of working on them. This is a good mix-up for them, right? And you could see he uses the mantra right there, which was Radiant Kick, if y'all saw that. Right here, you can see he charges up the Radiant Kick. And that's why he got hit, because he tried to attack back, even though I'm still in the uppercut priority, right? So let's move on to the next clip here. Should be about right here. Right, alright, so this is Matthias, right? So let's just rewind a little bit. So going for the first uppercut. Once again, same thing. Roll cancel, feint, and then another uppercut straight after that, right? And you could see right here. Let's go back. You can see that roll cancel right here. Put that in like 2 times real quick. You can watch, right? So I feint, and then you see that roll cancel right there. So that's what you're trying to bait out right there. With that feint into another uppercut, that's what you're trying to bait out. Feint, and then you hit him with the uppercut. And you can see he's in weak block right there because he tried to parry it, but he couldn't because he just wasted his roll. And that's why it's such a good mix-up, because you're just able to get some of these free damage. Obviously not all the time. I already said that, but doesn't land every time. But it's just such a cool mix-up to do because nobody expects it. I mean, I've literally seen nobody do this before. I just recently found this like a few weeks ago, honestly. I literally never did it before then. But it's just so cool that I just, keep on doing it in some of these matches. So let me just play this through one more time so you guys make sure to really get it. Put this in slow-mo. Hit him with the uppercut. Feints. And then he bases his roll, and then you get him with a free hit. So that's why it's just such a good tech. I mean, free damage. Free mix-up. Cool thing to do. Literally no downside. I mean, sometimes they can parry it, but they don't have priority after that parry, so you're chilling. Alright, so let's move on to the next tech. This should be M1 behind block. Or no, uppercut behind block, my bad. So for this one, right? You can see, hit him right there. Hit him with a roll, feint, and then you could see how my character moves behind him right there. Then we hit him with the uppercut. So this one, way harder to do. All right, this requires a lot of like camera movement, in-game movement. I mean, this is not like an easy tech to do. The first tech I just showed y'all, That one was pretty easy, but this one, it's definitely harder to learn. But you could see that, right? I literally went from like right here to like circled around him and hit behind his block, right? And I mean, it works the same way as the mantra behind block, but it's just way harder to do. You could do this with every not every mantra, every weapon too. That's what's so good about these techs is they're not weapon reliant or not mantra reliant. You don't have to have like a quick mantra like Ice Lance, Exhaustion Strike, or any of those, right? You could do this with a medium weapon, a light weapon. I feel like it's easier on heavy, but obviously, I mean, I don't really play much besides heavy. Heavy's my favorite weapon, so I mean, you don't really see it much. So let me just play that through one more time. Make sure y'all understand it. I'll do it in normal speed too, just to make sure y'all really get it this time. See, hit him M1 behind block. You just circle behind him. It's as simple as that. But it takes so much practice, so definitely don't expect to just pick this up and learn it right away. All right, so let's move on to the next clip. All right, so this is another put this in slow-mo. This is another uppercut behind block right here. Pretty sure. All right, so we get that parry with that, but you can see it's the same property. You have to bait something out, right? Because if you just go in for a raw uppercut behind block, they have everything off, right? You see how I baited his weak block right there, or his parry, I guess, so then it forced him to be in weak block. So he didn't have anything ready for this uppercut behind block, which just hits him for free. You can see try to roll it. It's the same thing as the mantra thing that Nogo was talking about. There's really like, I think it's either a lag issue or a game issue or something, but you can see try to roll. It just didn't work though, because I think he was in weak block and then like overrid it or something. I don't know the details, but let's just watch this one more time. So boom, bait it out right there. Uppercut behind block, and then boom, you got your damage. I mean, once again, a lot of camera movement. So with some mantras, you can just like move behind them. You don't have to like move your camera to like hit their block. You can just like, for example, Master's Flourish, you can just walk behind them and like the hitbox will naturally hit behind their block. But the reason why it's so much harder with uppercuts is you have to move your camera. You have to move your like player very precisely, and it's not, you know, something that you could just pick up and learn, because, you know, it obviously took me a while bit to learn this. But yeah, so let's just watch that one more time. Put that in normal speed. So right here you got the parry, bait it out right there, and then boom, got that uppercut. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so same guy, obviously. Now I'm gonna put this in slow-mo. This is to show you guys that, you know, this tech it's not like guaranteed. All right, so what happens right here? I whiff him out, like whiff out the parry, get into weak block, but I try to do the thing on him, but he manages to roll in time. He probably had like better ping in this server or something, but you could see he got that roll off in time. So it's not like a tech where it's guaranteed like damage every single time, but it's something good to do, especially if like, I'm sure some of you guys have fought people where it's like they just parry everything, right? And you can like barely seem to touch them. And then when you do get close, you just can't get any damage off. This is like something to do when you're fighting people like that, right? And it's just good damage to try to mix them up. And obviously they can't predict it. You're going behind their block. It's not something that they can like really just expect every single time, you know, because client-wise, you're still in front of them, but you're behind them on your screen, and, you know, very complicated, but I hope you guys get that. But you can see right here, just play it one more time, go behind him, bait out, but then he managed to roll it, and then I get punished for that, right? Obviously, it's not, like, guaranteed punishable every time, but I went in for that aerial attack right there. That's why I got punished. So you just can't expect it to land every time. That's the only thing. But obviously, it's a good mix-up. I mean, nothing wrong with it. If you just play around it, you'll get good damage every single round. So I think you guys should pick that tech up for sure. It's not too bad to learn. Definitely pretty hard, but obviously not too bad. So, all right, let's move into the last clip right here. Okay, so this was actually taken in DCL. Let me play it one more time in normal. Okay, so right, what happens right here? Boom. All right, quick clip. I know, but like it's an aerial attack behind block, right? So this is what I mean by M1 behind block. So let's put slow-mo. So right, he's over here. You go in for the aerial attack. What this normally requires, you have to have good height on the aerial attack, right? They have to be like pretty much right in front of you, because if you're aerial attacking them from like far away, it's not gonna go behind their block because you're gonna be in front of them when the hitbox hits. But right here, you can see he's parrying right there. Let me just go back. Right there, he's in the parry animation. I know it's kind of hard to see, but he's in the parry animation. And I'm going behind him, but you see that quick camera turn. Now this goes for any weapon, right? And it lands. You can see that hit right there. Boom, hit. So it goes for any weapon. I mean, I've just been using it on Hubris, obviously, because that's, you know, favorite weapon, my main weapon. So that's why you see me doing it with these in these clips. But it's literally usable on any weapon. You just have to learn how to do it and learn the text for it, right? But you can see that baits out the parry, and then boom, you have to. It's just very hard to do because you have to really just twist your camera, like, and then like it's like right before the hit too, because you could see the hit comes right after I rapidly turn the camera. So let me play that at normal speed just to make sure y'all get that. Let's go right here. You see how quickly you have to turn your camera there, and it's kind of like, I mean, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. Very ping reliant. So this one I wouldn't really recommend you guys do all the time. It's a little bit too inaccurate, but it's cool to do. I mean, especially if like people are like, I don't know, playing too passive or like S holding to infinity, bro, which a lot of people do nowadays. I mean, you could try to lay this on them or something, you know. But this one, you know, you don't really want to. Well, not want to, but you will not be landing this every time, you know. This is just something cool to do, or cool to learn, I guess, because it also helps you practice with some of these uppercut techs too, where you can go behind block, right? Because it's the same property, right? You go behind block in the uppercut, go behind block in the M1. It's all the same properties. So if you learn this one, you'll gradually learn this one, or vice versa. If you learn this one, you'll gradually start to learn the uppercut behind block, you know? So they kind of work hand in hand, so that's why it's kind of good to do. But I think that should be it for today. I got you with these 3 techs. My next tech video, I'll make a part 2 to this. I'm going to be working on some more simple ones that every heavy user should be learning, you know, because obviously these are a little bit more niche, a little bit, or well, not a little bit, much more complicated. You know, these take a lot of practice to do, but they will make you much, much better. But I'll definitely make sure to add in a lot more text for y'all. So make sure you sub, stay tuned, and peace out, boys.